We are spending the next 2 weeks in this incredible part of the world. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience because we basically have our own 2 private tour guides, being my aunt and uncle who've lived in Canmore for almost 20 years. They kayak, they hike, they mountain bike, they have explored every inch of this Canmore and surrounding area, and so we're going to see the most well-known places as well as some of the more secret hidden ones. We can't wait for you to come with us as we explore Canmore.
Canmore is a town in Alberta in Canada, situated in the Rocky Mountains. It's about 30 minutes outside of Banff, so it's a perfect base location for exploring both Canmore and Banff itself, which we will be doing, so make sure you stay tuned for our next 2 videos.
I am in the presence of the toilet that the Queen used.
Where we explore Banff. But it is just a super beautiful town. Rosh's uncle Paul says he thinks there's about a population of 14,000, but they're constantly expanding as it's becoming such a popular place to come and live.
I have formulated a list of big 5 animals we're gonna try and hopefully see while we're here in this part of Canada. Now, it was a strategic list. It's not like the big 5 in Africa, in which those animals are kind of like the top animals, the most popular animals to see. Because if I was to do that here in Canada, we definitely wouldn't see some of them. So I'm gonna start off with the honourable mentions. One being the cougar, because the cougar sees you, you don't see the cougar. So we're not going to see the cougar. It gets an honourable mention, but it's not making it onto the big 5 because I want this list to be achievable. Second honourable mention is going to be wolf, because I just feel like that's going to be really tricky to see. And lastly, I'm going to put the beaver on the list because I think the beaver is the national animal of Canada. Just don't like our chances of seeing it. So, onto the big 5. We have the mountain sheep. Purely on the list because I think we're going to see them and it will be cool to see. Next we have an elk. Next on the list is a moose. Then we have a bear. Now this is subdivided into grizzly and black. We get points if we see our bear, doesn't matter what type, but bonus points if we get to see both. And then lastly we have the coyote, which I think would be really cool to see. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos from this area in Canada, where we will hopefully over the course of the next few weeks see those big 5 animals, and maybe, fingers crossed, if a miracle occurs, we see some of those honourable mentions too. But for now, let's go and explore the little town of Canmore.
It's pretty cold.
Did you know that Canmore in Gaelic means big head, which is why there's a big head statue?
Have you ever been to a town with a view quite like that? We're literally surrounded by mountains, full panoramic views. So crazy. Guys, we've just pulled over on the side of like a highway and walked down through the trees. Look how good this view is of the Three Sisters. It is absolutely incredible.
And as you can see, there's this little kind of pond area and it's so still. The reflection of the mountains in the water is just as nice as the mountains themselves. Guys, we have now stopped off at Gap Lake, which is this massive lake behind me. As you can see, the colour is out of this world, but I've been told that that is a common theme in this area of Canada. I don't think a single lake is going to disappoint us. There's only one way to find out. We have just seen our first animal of the big 5, the Russian States Big 5, and it was the bighorn mountain sheep right on the side of the road. We are nailing this so far. They were really cute, so hopefully we will continue on this good streak and get a glimpse of the other 4. We have now come to Quarry Lake, which is apparently a really popular spot in the summertime for like paddleboarding, swimming. We are not here in the summertime, as you can tell, but it is equally worth coming to at this time because, I mean, look at that. And I haven't even made it to the lake yet.
It's an absolutely beautiful time to come here to Canada. It is a bit cold, but it's not quite winter yet, which is great. Very bearable, and it's so beautiful because it is fall or autumn for people from Australia like us who call it autumn. So some of the trees are changing colours. Obviously the evergreen trees stay green all year round, but there are all these other beautiful trees that are turning yellow You've got the lake, you've got the yellow trees, the green trees, the snow-capped mountains. It's absolutely incredible and unlike anywhere we visited so far. It's crazy how quickly the weather shifts here. This morning there was full cloud cover, couldn't see the mountains at all, it was wild. And then it slowly started to lift and now it's in mid-afternoon and it is completely clear blue skies.
And of course we're in bear country now. Fingers crossed we will see one because it is, as you know, in our Big Five. But being in bear country, there are things that are a bit different because bears can be mischievous and little hungry creatures. So something that I have noticed, well no, that's a lie, my uncle told me, are these bear-proof bins. And they're really interesting because, I mean, there's obviously I'm gonna call it a lid, but you have to put your hand in, hit a lever to open it. I would like to see a bear try and do that. We're currently on a little hike in the Canmore Reservoir. Look at this view. It's not focusing. I'll show you, hang on, look at this view. And we're doing this little hike because we're on our way to see a waterfall. And I can hear the water now, so I think that means we're getting close. We were at Niagara Falls just the other day. If you didn't see that video, have a look up here. And now we're at the Canmore waterfall. We have made it to the Grassi Lakes waterfall. And it's pretty cool. And just behind me, in fact right here, there's a silver pipe. The reason that it's there is because the pipe transforms the water power into electric power. Isn't that great? Utilization of natural energy source. And just above the waterfall we have Howling Peak, my uncle says. So it's a very easy hike to get up here. On the sign it said 1.7 kilometers, didn't feel like that. And it was like a little incline, so pretty doable. I would recommend. In other exciting news, we have seen another bit of wildlife, unfortunately not in our Big Five. Maybe he should be in the Little Five because he was tiny. He was a tiny little chipmunk. We've just been notified by Uncle Paul that we have to go above the fall. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm having a great time. We've had to take a little rest because we are very high up and not acclimatized.
Even just Canmore town itself is already at 1300 meters elevation, which is pretty crazy.
And we have made it all the way to the top of the waterfall, and at the top there is this really beautiful little pond where you can see the reflection of the mountain peak in the water. It's an amazing place. And we found another really beautiful lake. This one and the one that I showed you before, they're both referred to as the Grassy Lakes. And the mountain edge just up there is a popular mountain edge for rock climbing. I can't think of anything worse, but you do you, I would be terrified. What do you think, Stace?
It's pretty crazy. Definitely.
And if you look closely on the rock face, there are actually some pictographs. Of course, you can't really make out the picture anymore because time has passed, but it is really cool to see that the ink is still here.
The water is so blue here because when glaciers melt into these mountain lakes, silt or rock flour comes from rocks that were broken apart from the grinding power of the glacier, and when the sun reflects upon that silt, it gives that powerful bright blue colour, which is just super cool.
Guys, we have come about 40 minutes away from Canmore in the car to the top of Highwood paths, and as you can see, we have found snow. Snow.
I can't throw it. You got the camera.
I think I just pulled a muscle.
So what's his name?
That's a real Australian name. Darren.
Guys, I think this is Rosh's maybe second time ever seeing snow, so she's pretty excited. She was a little bit too keen. She went straight in with no gloves on to handle the snow.
It's so painful.
And she then proceeded to fall into it, thinking she would just, sink in like one of those movie moments, except that the snow is only about 5 to 10 centimeters thick, so she kind of just hit the ground really hard, but she's enjoying herself.
We have now come to this giant jumble of rocks in search of one of our small 3, the picker. Now, I haven't seen one, I've seen a picture, but the way I would describe it is like a tiny little mouse slash squirrel type thing. Apparently it makes a noise, a peak noise, like a really high pitched peak noise. Pikachu. And apparently when you come to this giant jumble of rocks, you're likely to see one because I hear that they don't really move away from this jumble of rocks. In fact, the sign says it's not often that they move more than 10 meters away. Come on, Pika, where are you? And while we haven't had any luck seeing the Pika today, we did have some luck seeing another one of our big 5, the sheep. On to our next stop.
So we're exploring the Kananaskis Alpine region, and we've come here to the lower lake, and then we're going to head to the upper lake. It's pretty beautiful and it's absolutely massive.
On to the next lake. Let's go. Okay, now let's go.
We've now made it up to the upper lake, which is just as beautiful. It looks a bit smaller, but apparently it is bigger. It does go around quite far, but it's just so beautiful with the snow-capped mountains in the background. The Kananaskis area is very beautiful to visit if you are looking for somewhere just outside of Canmore.
We are now just doing a 15-minute short trail along the Kananaskis River. Now this river is actually dam controlled, so when the dam is closed, it's very calm. But when the dam is open, well, that's when the surfers show up. And I'll tell you what. It's also a really popular spot for kayakers when the dam is open.
Okay, it's super early. We've come out here to the Spray Lakes area, currently just at Goats Pond watching the sunrise, because we're going to try and do some wildlife spotting. It's meant to be a pretty good area, obviously no guarantees, but we've got Uncle Paul taking us along, so hopefully we'll see some animals this morning.
And turns out this morning is the perfect morning to come and watch the sunrise, because there's not a cloud in the sky, which means that the Alpine glow is really strong, as you can see. We've now driven to Spray Lake, which is this massive lake behind me. As you can see, the water is a lot more still than the previous pond, which means that we can get almost a perfect reflection of the mountain above it with that really nice alpine glow. And now, breakfast with a view.
We brought some thermoses and we've got some hot chocolate with the view.
It's lovely. I think it's about 1 degree at the moment. It's a bit chilly.
Okay, we finished our breakfast of Nutella croissants and hot chocolate, and now it's time to venture out, hopefully see some animals. We haven't seen anything yet, but fingers crossed. And now, after exploring Canmore by car and by foot, it's time to hop on some bikes and explore a little further.
How's that for a bike ride view?
So we're currently doing the toughest bike track in all of Canmore. It's pretty easy so far. To clarify, we're probably doing the easiest one and I'm struggling. And as a bonus on our big bike ride, we just saw another one of our Canadian Big 5. Actually, a lot of them. We saw a whole heap of elk. There were heaps of males. They did start to kind of bluff charge towards us, so we pedalled off super quickly. My pedaling let me down a little bit, but I think I need to practice my starts, but that was a pretty cool experience. And now we're gonna keep going.
We are about to do our first mountain bike run. It is a green run, of course, because we're amateurs. So we're gonna, fingers crossed, get through it without any broken bones. Good luck, Stace!
Rosh is going to give one of those little jumps a go before we switch back to the green run. There's a little, very little. I don't think she's ever done that before, so it'll be interesting.
Put your weight forward.
The elk are following us around today. Look at this, we've rode our bike to Quarry Lake and the rest of the herd is here. And the fear of being chased by a bear or a cougar really encourages you to go on the track at pace.
Why are you on the ground? I went to stand up off the bed and my legs gave way.
I mean, we survived a bike ride, but some of us are doing better than others.
Okay, so we've seen Canmore via bike now, which was pretty awesome and pretty incredible to see all those elk. While we were on our bikes, a little bit scary. It is rutting season, so the males are particularly aggressive, so you do have to keep your distance. It was pretty incredible, but I wasn't particularly good at bike riding. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't good at it. So I'm thinking maybe land transport isn't my thing, so I'm gonna try hitting the water instead. Guys, Canmore and just Banff and the surrounding areas is an outdoor lover's dream. I mean, name an outdoor activity and you can do it here. In the summer you can go kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, hiking, mountain bike riding, like literally anything. And then in the winter you've got downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, sled riding, hiking still, like ice skating. It's pretty unbelievable. I wouldn't say I'm an outdoor lover. I don't live for the outdoors, but definitely an outdoor liker. Definitely love some time outdoors, and we are living it up here in Canmore. It's an absolutely beautiful day. When we arrived it was about 3 degrees. Even this morning we were experiencing -1, and it's now beautiful and sunny. I'm in a t-shirt and we're gonna hit up the water.
Uncle Paul told me I'm such a pro at kayaking that I could take Sister Siobhan out. Now Siobhan's not a nun, she's just my sister. But look, I'm kayaking with Siobhan because I'm so good. And now it's Stacey's turn.
This is amazing.
Guys, this place is so beautiful. I really can't think of anywhere else as pretty to kayak than here with the mountain landscape. It's pretty cool. Our time in Canmore just feels like a never-ending outdoor ed camp. And I am loving it, and I think that she might be loving it too.
Guys, I can't help but think of that song. I can't remember who sings it, but it's like, life can't get much better. Feeling those vibes right now. It's cliche, but feeling those vibes. And just like that, our time here in Canmore has come to an end, but we still have 3 more videos to come out from our time here. We have 2 videos exploring Banff National Park and 1 video where we went on a road trip to Jasper and back. So make sure you stay tuned for those. We hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.